Alright, hello everybody, Skyrain here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Alright, so we're going to look at this comment here, and this is going to be the topic of this video, by the way. So, it's all things shadows related. This would definitely be a much needed thing for a lot of players, especially early game, because you can gain a massive amount of experience boosts just by showing up at the assembly and whatnot, but we'll get into that in the discussion here. I'm going to show, though, over the course of this video, this right here. Hey, Skyrain, could you make the video about shadow ranks, especially during the first week after a new Immortal reign starts? Seems that that many of my clanmates get to blade level within a day or two after reset, and they struggle with that. Even if I finish all the weekly goals in the first 1 or 2 days and the first 3 contracts, I know that Path of Blood is the weak spot. I get stuck around floor 50 plus as I hit my combat rating limit. It seems that after one of the updates about 4 to 6 months ago, they introduced this high combat rating jump around floor 50. Yes and no. Somehow others are unaffected by it, and at least are not at all. Thought that the Path of Blood is scaled to each individual's combat rating, and it should not matter if you are 39k combat rating or 42k. How do you deal with it? All right, so there's the question that has been posed. Back into the game real quick. I am on my alt character that I had created for like a beginner series. I haven't touched it in forever because there's just no time. There's just no time to keep up with all this nonsense. It's just too much. But I do have this, and I switched to it for this very reason. So, I'm not entirely sure where they're at on the Immortal. Actually, I do know where they're at. Hang on a minute. I'll show you right now. Shadows? Predictions? Yes, predictions. Oh, they're at 4. Okay, so this one's 4 weeks in to the reign. So there's going to be another at least 3 weeks. So we're pretty far in. However, that's not really the important matter here. What is the fact that I just popped my my alt here into the shadow faction again, which, by the way, if you don't know how to do that, you talk to this guy here, the mysterious patron. At some point in the game it will open up to you. You will be able to join the shadow factions if you choose. I would highly suggest it, no matter what. And then once you do every Immortal reign or so after that, you will, in doing shadow stuff, you can just talk to them and say, hey, I want to be a shadow again, and then it's a way more streamlined process after the first time in. But I would definitely, learn all the ropes and what is involved, and they'll give you a whole tutorial about everything with the shadow faction. But I would highly suggest it because it's a huge experience gain. You'll get keys really easy just by showing up to assembly, that kind of thing. It's definitely worth doing. As you can see, I got this cosmetic. I did the free roll on the most recent update here in the event. Oddly enough, on the Phantom Market, and lo and behold, on my alt of all things, I end up getting a free cosmetic out of it. Go figure, right? I don't get that in my main, but anyway. Oh, and another thing I wanted to point out while we're talking about a mixture between shadow rank and combat rating. As you can see here, I have I have the bracelet slots opened up. This guy got a carry. One day I just asked out in chat for a help in the in-game chat of like clearing a boss raid. Now I did have the combat rating for it to go to the next difficulty up, but it was one where I preferred to be in more of a group. Plus I wanted to get more chests. So then everybody loaded up, everybody jumped in on it and was more than willing to help, which is obviously great to see. It's nice when the community as a whole comes together for such things and wants to help people out like that. However, I got a little too much help, and they pushed me all the way, I think, into, like, the Inferno bosses. So, I have the bracelets unlocked, which you don't get unlocked until H3, but I have yet to have enough wisps, because I did not collect or run dungeons enough on this guy, of course, to build up my wisp collection, and I got a severe push early into the game. So yeah, that's why I don't have bracelets. I'm still going to play it out. This is my current combat rating at 21,466. We're going to see how this whole thing plays out. Why? Because, again, back to the shadow question that was posed. Here is my shadow rank. I have done nothing with it. It is the weekend, So I only have a couple days to try and pull this off, but I'm going to try and burn through all of this. Now that it's on this nice little list, I can pick and choose the ones I want to spam. So I'm going to take full advantage of that for the sake of this video and just to see how this new system works. I cannot do it on my main currently because we are in Immortals, so therefore I had to find other means. I have all my other alts available to do this, so I figured, okay, why not? Let's pull this off. Let's test this out. I want to see how it goes anyway. So they did mention the 3 contracts.
How interested are you in
I do have that, I think, already.
And here I am,
I'm pretty sure. Where is it? Where is it? Do I have it or not? Hang on. I might have to. I'm going to check to see if I have the contracts for Shadows or not. Right now, it's not really.
Grab a rag. Help.
He's
Whatever
just
happens.
talking to me, and I could have sworn I picked them up already, but maybe I didn't. They should be in here. Into the Verge. So I have Abyssal Verge unlocked now in this character, which is crazy. I have this. I do not have Shadow Quest. I'll be right back trying to figure this out and get that and pick those up. Okay, so I did 1 Elder Rift so far for the Shadow ranks, and I had to rank up in general. So now I'm in Initiate 2. I did 1 Elder Rift for 200 points. Pushed me all the way through into the Initiate 2 now. So I unlocked
How interesting.
contracts. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the contracts.
Busy day. And here I am,
Normally I would do dungeons on my main whenever I run around, but since I'm on this character, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm going to go ahead and just start knocking these out, and then we'll see where we're at. I'm going to, again, begin to proceed to burn through as much of this as fast as possible that I can, and then once I get my weekly goals done of 20, which won't take very long at all since they've changed it this way, we're going to see where we end up at the end of it. I will go ahead and once I do the Path of Blood, of course, too, I will show exactly where I'm at. It's going to be much, much rougher, and I will discuss that whole situation with the combat rating and how it applies. Oh boy, alright, so here we are back now, finally, at the Path of Blood. I went and knocked out a whole bunch of these other things. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe on this video. I put a lot of time and effort into this, obviously. I knocked out all of this stuff just now for the rank and Shadows. Now, what I've come to find out, since I've been on Immortal since they updated this, or Shadows, where you can see the entire list. However, I did not notice that these cap out. Now, Immortals does the same thing to a degree, but not like this. You only get 20 weekly goals for Shadows, and Immortals they get 60. However, these still cap out after you do so many. I thought, oh, I'll just do a boatload of Elder Rifts, you know, and knock it out really fast. No, I was only able to do, I think, like 3 or 4 Elder Rifts, and then it checkmarked, and I cannot do any more to count towards that. I was like, well, that kind of sucks. Contracts. The contracts, I think, I did all 3 contracts. Okay, so I did all 3 contracts. This is where I'm currently at right now. I'm still at Apprentice 2 by knocking all this stuff out. So, yeah, it does take a lot more to do. What I'm going to do right now, the blessing time is not up yet, so I can't get this one. I think you can get at least this one twice, if I remember from in the past. I've gotten this one twice before in a week's time, so it's possible. We're going to find out. But I'm going to go ahead and do the Path of Blood now. I'm just going to do 1 floor at a time to rack up the rewards for this first, and then we're going to see where we're at after that. All right, well, that was really quick. I only did 1 floor of Path of Blood. And unfortunately, I did get up to Apprentice 3. I did only 1 floor. That only counted 1 time for this weekly list. So I still have 2 more weekly goals. And barring trying to avoid going into Battlegrounds, because this one's even way more squishier than my other free-to-play. And unfortunately, I think I have the... And this is why. This is a big reason why you will see fillers for Battlegrounds. You'll see, why is there like a level 60 Paragon, or why is there a level, 100 Paragon or whatever in Inferno Battlegrounds? This is why. I got a carry, unfortunately, like I explained earlier, to unlock the raids into probably Inferno difficulty. So therefore, I am now slotted, unfortunately, into the Inferno Battlegrounds. There's no way around that, I don't think. So that really, really sucks. And let me double check and make sure you were not ranked. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to see this list unless I was in here. So yeah, that's the problem. So I am in the Master Battlegrounds because I got the carry through the raids. And that's, in turn, not the people's fault whenever they get slotted in, so you can't blame the players like that whenever you see them. It's an unfortunate process, but it is what it is. There needs to be, I think, a median section for Battlegrounds. There should be like a beginner, intermediate, and, advanced. It'd be way better that to be handled. But anyway, back to Path of Blood here. I'm going to continue on and do as many of these that I can. I'm not gonna punch my fist into the pavement trying to struggle with it, however. Why does this still have a red check mark? Oh, because we got these points down here. I forgot about these ones. Yeah, there's these ones too. So you obviously, if you want more points to get as much as you can into this, you will have to do Vault. And I don't like doing Vault. But I suppose if you find a group that wants to do it, there is a trick around that to where you can maximize your stuff. Just do the first floor over and over again and then leave. That's about the quickest and most efficient that I've seen, is just you do the first floor, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And then that's it. And then you get your maximized chest for the week, and et cetera, and you don't have to fuss with any of the fourth floor Immortal nonsense and the like, and so on and so forth. So that would probably be the best way to go about doing that one. And yeah, also, again, there's a raid the Vault plus 200 right there for weekly goals. But again, I'm trying to max them out with the blessing, so I'm going to have to wait for a few more minutes yet before I can do this and test that. But until then, back into it I go for the Path of Blood. I won't be able to get very far in everything that I've done in spamming all those quests. You've seen what my combat rating was at the start of this video. It was like 21,000 something. I'm up to 24,000 now, so I gained a lot of pieces of gear. I got a lot of essences I didn't have before. I got a lot of legendaries along the way, let's put it that way. So here we are. I gained a fair amount in a short amount of time of combat rating. So I'm able to push a little bit further into this. Now, the main story behind the combat rating for this. Current combat rate recommended. Yeah, it's not a matter of some months back that they, once you get to 50. Now, granted, in all of these, they kind of do that sporadically. So it gives everybody, I think, somewhat of a chance with a little bit of combat rating, because even at 1, it's 587. So the first early floors all the way to 50. That's why there's such a big jump from 50 and up, because that's at least to give starting players an option and a chance to complete some of these floors, so it's not too terrible for them. That's what that's in there for. The 50 and on is for everybody that should be pretty much at server Paragon, and you should be, expected to be at that combat rating at that point. Okay? And in the process of doing things as well, today I've finished some more of my, speaking of combat rating, I'll just touch on this very, very quickly. I'm not going to go into it much. I leveled my Heliquary up to 19, and it was like a level 2 or a 3, I think. And I did some raids. I had some pieces left over. I locked in the ones, because I didn't even have the last slot here unlocked yet until I got to level 12 of the Heliquary. So yeah. So I knocked out all of this stuff in a matter of, I don't know, an hour or two. And here we are. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do the Path of Blood real quick and be right back one more time. Alright, time to wrap this up. The final tally of everything for Shadows. This is a complete free-to-play, very, very squish, very starting character. I'm still only 230 Paragon. The Paragon levels you gain is very, very quick. I'll give you a breakdown of where I'm at now. Currently, I did manage to pick up one of these. I ended up getting enough wisps. I finally crafted a bracelet. So I don't have enough wisps to craft another one. I got lucky on the first roll, apparently, and I got a triple slot, which is rare, but I wasn't expecting it, but nonetheless. Anyway, final tally currently for the run of the day. As the start of the video, I was at 21,000 some odd, whatever. Now I'm at 25,500. If I get another green bracelet, ideally about the same combat rating, around 1,500, this would push me up to another 1,000, so I'd be at like 26,005 something, you know. All right, but that would be my combat rating, and I bring that up for this reason here. For Path of Blood at level 30, currently, what is the server paragon here? The server paragon here is 470. I am on High Heavens server on this particular character, if that gives you an idea. I know on my main, the server paragon level is higher than this. I think it's 480 even. So there are some servers that are actually slightly lower. I did not even think that was the case until I created another character on this one, and this is listed as one of the, quote, new servers, tagline next to it. So that's why I was like, all right, let's see what this is about. They are actually under Paragon level a bit more than the one I am on my main character. So that is very interesting. That is just something else to take note of. Now then, back to this. As you can see, I pushed to floor 30. 31 is now in the red. And when you get numbers in the red, you might as well just stop right there, because you can try and fight it. I tried this earlier with this one. I was at 24,000. And for this one, that was required for 25,310. And I was able to kite the bosses. It was the triple pack. But I was only doing like 90 damage per tick, and I was barely even scratching them. So it is not at all worth it. If you don't have the combat rating, this is just how it is. That's just the long and the short of it, unfortunately. So I'm compiling the entire experience of the day. I did as many things as you can possible in one day's time for shadow ranks. Let's get back to it here. Now the only thing... Now here, for the weekly goals, what I had remaining throughout the video towards the end was get a blessing. The blessing counted as one and done, unfortunately. So I wasn't able to get 2 blessings to have it count twice. I was at 18 to 20. So I had to force myself to do a vault run. And of course, unfortunately, just with the way it is, they force you to go into parties. Now, the group that I was in first, the first party that I tried to get into, because I just basically wanted to get in, get out, they were all 400 plus, almost maximum Paragon levels, of course. And then I'm in there, and they're like, and they all left. So, hey, not my fault that the shadow system forcing you to go in as a party. Because honestly, I think there should be an option to go solo, so that way you can just run the first floor over and over and over again. It's solo, and, you know, do it that way. Nonetheless, it's unfortunate they force you into parties, so don't look at other people. If anything, some people might be courteous enough. Unfortunately, that group was not. I'm not surprised. But some groups might be fortunate and courtesy enough to take you through at least one floor to get it done, and then you could be like, oh, thank you, I appreciate it, and move on. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Now, this is just for one run. I opened 7 chests in one. We did 4 floors. We just didn't open all the chests in the last floor. Of course, the Immortals took us out pretty quickly because, well, I was on a PvE build, and I'm not even max Paragon, so that's no surprise. However, I wasn't the first one to get dropped, so I found that kind of interesting. But anyway, but yeah, this one would have gotten, you know, an additional 50 marks for this. What we're trying to do is comprise, going back to the comment one more time here. This is why I did the whole entire video here. This is what is compromising. We're just rehashing the points and wrapping this all up in a nice little bow. Again, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, please. I put a lot of time into this one. Let's see, you can make a video about shadow ranks, contracts. So, okay, yeah, I did all 3 shadow rank contracts. Pause the video if you want to read this again if you haven't seen it already, or if you just skipped to the end of the video. Hi, how are you? This is what we're talking about once again. Now, the Watcher, I'm at Watcher 3 because I couldn't push Path of Blood past level 30. Anything after that is just too much. It's just that's just how it is, combat rating wise, for me currently at my level of 231. All right, and I have my own warband, which I just used to push the tableau along the way, which is very, very low. Okay, so I haven't put too much time into this at all, so some of you might be further along than this. And let me see what else. My gems are very low. They're like maybe ranks 1 and 2 at most, at best. So there's that. This is my blacksmithing ranks on all my gear currently. And again, like I said, these I can put ranks into this one now, so I can go back and do that and raise my combat rating up a little bit more with this piece until I craft another green. But until then, this is where I'm at combat rating wise from where I started the video. This is the progress I have made. This is where I have gotten. This is a benchmark for me on this character. I did everything that you can do in weekly goals in one day. Okay? The contracts, or not the contracts, the bounties in here. Complete 4 bounties. Unfortunately, in Shadows, you have to turn them in for this to count. So I wasn't able to abandon and restart. However, I did have 24 bounties saved up. And I used all 24 bounties to cap this 6 times in the weekly goals. So that was the big chunk of it, was the complete 4 bounties. But I did 24 bounties and all this other stuff here except for Battlegrounds. I didn't have to do a Battlegrounds. I just did one vault run and then I got my 20 of 20. So this system's better than what it has been, better than what it was. It's still not the greatest. I'm still hoping that you could just avoid doing any form of PvP whatsoever. Technically, you could with Vault. If you just go in the first floor, like I said, and run it and get the credit, you're done. That's what brought me to the 20 of 20. And this is also counting 1 day's worth. Just 1 day of getting all 4 blessings for 1 day. So I started at 0 at the very beginning of the video for the Shadow ranks points, and this is where I'm at now. If that gives you any idea, this is a benchmark for those of you, and again, for the person that wanted to see a video made on this, this is where I'm at. This is what I accomplished from 0 points to Watcher 3. There's one more trick. There's one more trick that you can do. Hang on a minute. I don't want to click on that. I meant to click on here. They were talking about some of their clanmates get, in the first couple days, they get all the way up to Blade. Okay? I wasn't able to finish Path of Blood. Obviously, I only got to level 30. I got to Watcher 3. Okay, this is where I'm at my level, which is 230 Paragon. 25,000 combat rating. Okay? That's as far as I can go with Path of Blood. Now, granted, the ones in question probably have pushed all the way through to 100. They, in the comment, got to about 50, so that's completely understandable as well. So the only other way of sneaking in some more extra marks fast is, since there's been an influx of newer players still running around, if you manage to find a player that is not in a clan, I don't think they have to be in a clan. No, yeah, if they're not in a clan, if they're an adventurer. If they are an adventurer, you can invite them, once they get to a certain level anyway, you can invite them to Shadows. And if they join, you get some marks for it. I think you can get 3 maximum marks, 3 per day for inviting people to Shadows, as long as they join. If they decline, obviously you don't get anything for it. But that's another way of getting more Shadow marks quickly and ranking up. It really honestly doesn't matter in the long of it all, because you're still going to eventually get to this. You just won't be on the leaderboard as fast. But if you're wanting to build your ranks up fast for whatever reason, this is it. I've done everything possible that you can do. The Shadow Clan battles will give you some points as well, and also the Shadow... I think the Shadow Towers... I think the towers for Shadows, your clan, will count for giving you some marks as well. I'm not 100% on that. I'm not 100% on that. But, nonetheless, there we go. There's a full comprehensive breakdown of all of this in my experience from running this in 1 day's time. Everything done for the Shadow ranks again. Everything possible that I could get for the ranks and the marks. Shadow marks for getting as high up as I could. This is where I'm at. Give you a good idea. Let me know what you think, of course, of all of this in the comments down below. I hope you appreciate the amount of time I put into this one, because it was a lot. But yeah,
Path
one
of
more
Blood.
last look at the floor of Path of Blood here on this server anyway, with the max server combat or max server Paragon of 470. This is where the combat rating is at for me. I'll go ahead and I can't even look at 50. That's right, I can't even look any higher. But yeah, it starts to jump up quite a great deal. 30 is even a benchmark too. 20, yeah, you're getting 20 is 11,000, and then 30 jumps significantly up to 25. So yeah, there's every 10 levels or so they really start to bolster, and even 35 here is 32 from 25. So yeah, they get up pretty fast, and again it doesn't matter. It's tied to the server Paragon level and pretty much where everybody should be at as far as all the difficulties, and that's just how it goes. All right, I gotta bounce finally. Thank you for hanging in there the entire time. If you can, if you made it in here at the very end, I do appreciate you as always. And of very course, share, like, subscribe, please. And until next time, stay safe out there in the real world on fire as always, everybody. Take care of yourselves as best you can, one day at a time. It's the best we can do. Until next time, see ya.